Mr. Forsyth, you claim that what's happening in Biafra is genocide and massacre on a very large scale. Yes. What evidence do you have for this?
It's mainly threefold. Partly my own eyewitness experiences. I followed the Biafran army very closely on a number of occasions. At one occasion, at Onitsha, I came across 300 members of the Apostolic Church at Onitsha slaughtered by the Federal 2nd Division.
Did you actually see these bodies?
Yes, I helped clear them out of the road. The Biafran army was so shocked they wouldn't march past them. It took us 18 hours to clear the bodies out of the way. And they had all had their hands tied behind their backs and been shot at close range. On another occasion...
Did you count these bodies?
Personally, one by one, no. The estimate was 300. I think it was probably a fairly fair estimate. They were piled as high as a man's shoulder, like logs stacked on the roadside. On another occasion, a man whom I know was a photographer working for the Biafrans took a photograph very shortly after a village had been completely wiped out. And you can see still the bodies lying around the market square where they were shot down. Secondly, from eyewitness sources, survivors of the massacres. And thirdly, from interrogations of federal prisoners who, when the Igbo captors have been sent out of the way, admit, quite frankly, that they are there to wipe out Igbo. That's what they admit.
But what do they say that their orders were?
They don't mention what their orders were. They don't seem to be taking any notice of orders anymore. They're taking frightful casualties, and in revenge for these casualties, they seem to be going on a blood rampage, which has nothing to do with what Lagos is saying about the rehabilitation of the Igbo and how they're all going to be treated as equal citizens of Nigeria. In other words, there is such a disparity between what Lagos is saying on the one hand and what the federal army is actually doing on the ground, that one has to come to the conclusion either Lagos is lying, and I don't think they are, I think they're quite sincere, or that the federal army of 80,000 brand new raw conscripts has gone out of control.
What about the bombing of Biafra? The federal government has claimed that they've only been attacking strategic targets.
Well, this is absolute nonsense. They may have given orders for the attacking of strategic targets, but the pilots they're using are almost exclusively Egyptian. And I've examined too many sites of bombing raids to be of any other conclusion that, almost without exception, they go straight for civilian centres. Anything that's protected by even light machine guns, they stay well away from. They just go down on schools, hospitals, and the African townships and the markets, all of which, during the course of a working day, are crammed with women and children.
Yes, I want to appreciate the name of the Lord who has come into this matter the way it has ever since we have been clamoring for it. And now the U.S. Congress has now officially approved by accepting that Biafra referendum, which Nigeria have refused to conduct on their own. We conducted the referendum, and we, including me, we voted. It is our choice. You know, Nigeria knows this, that when there was anything, issues like Biafra of a thing referendum should come up, that every average Igbo man, 99% is ready to leave Nigeria. Because Nigeria is no longer conducive for humanity. It's no longer a place for human beings. It is now a place for animals. You see why Mazen Namdekano called them a zoo. You understand? Because based on the activities that is going on, look at what is happening in Kwara State today. Over 10 villages have been ransacked by all these terrorist groups. And what is Nigerian government doing? What is the military doing? What is all these armed forces doing? They have failed woefully. It shows that.
And let me tell you, they said they are really working as regards fighting.
Yes, they are working. Yes, Sidious Musa is working in such a way that Sheikh Gumina's son, his son now, have become one of the major generals in Nigerian army. Tell me, and his boys too, tell me, how can anybody touch Sheikh Gumi, which Sheikh Gumi in a normal sense supposed to be behind bar by now? Now his own son now being promoted recently now in the military. Then how do you intend that kind of person to allow his father to be apprehended? Likewise, every other Sheikh Gumi group, boys on the street. You see why Kwara State is under serious siege now, and government could not do anything. Yes, that is why I agree that Nigerian military is trying by promoting terrorists in their corridor of the military, giving them arms, just like the same way they promoted the Tuji Bello by giving him more money to acquire more arms. You know, don't you see what happened? After the money they collected, they invaded Kwara State because they needed money to invade Kwara State. And federal government are giving them the money to invade Kwara State, and they did. So the killing of the Christians is something that is too alarming, as you can see it now. And these Christians we are talking about are the Biafrans. So the referendum, if you say that these people, maybe somebody like Mazen Namdekano is lying, deceiving and cheating people, Simon Akpan is lying, deceiving and cheating people, then Ngozi Orebeze is lying and deceiving and cheating people. Now let's go to referendum. Why are you afraid? Why are you scared of going through referendum? Because go and check why Putin, that is Russia, is standing against Ukraine, especially in that Crimea, before he acquired other places to join Crimea now. Because of what? Referendum, which they conducted. The Crimea now decided they prefer Russia to be a Russian citizen than being Ukraine citizen. Then this man now came up, wanted to force them to become Ukraine citizens, which is not possible. Do you understand? You see why Russia stood their ground, and that is why even United States could not do anything in regard to this issue much. You understand? Because everything goes according to the law. And now, coming to Biafra issue now, our own tender, legal tender, have been tender regarding to referendum. That is the freedom of the people, the choice of the people. Let the people make their choice, decide where to follow, where to belong. That is what it means. Where do you belong? And where do you want to belong to? So they decided to go with the Biafra. Nigerian government have refused, denied them. And instead of, putting their head together to resolve this issue amicably, whether political or unpolitical, they now decided to be killing them, believing that that is the only way, according to their own little mentality understanding, thinking that by the time you kill them, that is the only option to stop Biafra. But they don't know that what they are doing was giving Biafrans the upper hand over them. Glory be to God that the U.S. Congress today have gone through. See, let me tell you, there are some network that is alert on the air. There is nothing Nigeria can do when in terms of technology to outpass US or Israel. So every technology, if Israel can break into the airspace of Iran, airspace of every other world, in United Nations Leaders Summit, you understand? Who can be Nigerian airspace network that they cannot break and gather information that they needed? You understand? You see why they embrace the referendum? Because over 50 million Biafrans voted. It was the 1,000 on the paper, then over 50 million on the internet. I don't know how, server voting of a thing. Over 50 million, and the plus over 1,000 plus whatsoever that was under paper. Join it together. You will agree with me that they have met up the standard that qualified and being required of them of having their own nation. That is why you see US Congress today welcoming it. Because let me tell you, many years back, when Eritrea, I could remember 15 years or 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, Eritrea was just 12,000 in population. Eritrea, they were just 12,000 in population, yet they have their own freedom. I don't know whether you are getting it. So then, even Cheche or Elche, they were just 250,000 in population, and they have their own independence. So why is it that it's difficult for Nigeria to free the Biafrans that are over millions? If 250,000 can have a freedom to rule themselves, then if 12,000 can have their freedom and rule themselves, then those that have entered millions, why are you stopping them? I don't know whether you get the point. Why are you stopping them? So even as I'm speaking to you now, go and Google it. Eritrea is not up to 10 million in population. They are not up to. Cheche is not up to 2 million in population as we speak now. You understand me? In total. So if all these people can have their freedom, why not Biafra? Yes. Why not Biafra? So we are up to the age and the stage, and moreover, we have this struggle doesn't start today. It started, check it, in 1966 to date. And let me tell you something again that people don't really understand. Biafra did not come from Igbo Ojukwu. Biafra have been in the map of Africa for centuries ago. And it was being pronounced again, a kind of a reminder to Ojukwu by Delta man, a German, African or so, somebody like that. You understand? Was the person who made the pronouncement of this Biafra before Ojukwu now picked it up, before fighting the war. I don't know whether you get it. It's something I want you to do your findings. Only thing, the name of this man is something I can't really figure out, something end up corn or something like that. Just do the finding to get the correct pronunciation of the name. But check the map of Africa. Biafra has been in existence in the map of Africa for centuries. Even before the white came to Nigeria. Do you understand me? Even before the British visited Nigeria. So Biafra is not something of now, it's something of the old. Old, very, very old. It's an ancient name. But it's just that they themselves, as at that time, the thing appears as if it's now wilding it off. Then before Ojukwu now pick it up, that man pick it and sounded, mention it in the ears of Ojukwu. Ojukwu now grab it and make it official, make it known to the world, revive it again. You understand? So what you are seeing now is the fulfillment of the ancient map, ancient name, which the British and Nigeria wanted to die. And we the Igbos decided to revive it. Because there are so many things. You see, the British, they are the problem of the world. Are you hearing me? UK are the problem of this world. Any day UK start to be sincere to themselves and be fair to themselves, you will see that the crisis that is going on in many countries will stop. It will not be. You see on this one, about this one is this one. The UK and France, they are brain behind all this insecurity and crisis all over the world. I'm not talking only in Nigeria. I mean all over the world.
Are you saying they are sponsor of terrorism?
Yeah, they are, in fact, they are the financier.
The financier of terrorism.
They are financier of the terrorism. They encourage them most. They empower them most. They preach it to them, they impart it in them mostly. Take a look at what is. If I tell you that today, that the UK, they introduced Bible to us here in Nigeria, who gave us Bible? You understand me? And now decided to hand over power when they wanted to go. They hand over power to the people who refuse to accept the Bible. They hand power to them. What does that tell you? Are they not the problem? What stop them from handing over power to the people that admit to their Christianity, to the Bible, which they presented to us, they give to us as the best option? But they chooses to hand over power to the people who oppose what they brought to us. Is that not confusion? Are they not the one contributing or imposing all this nonsense, abnormal behaviors in the world? And as I speak to you now, very soon UK will become an Islamic nation. And it's already ongoing. Just the same way, what is it called? Turkey. You know, Turkey was a Christian nation before. But currently now, as we speak now, it has become an Islamic nation. How did they do it? The way they did it is what they have displayed in Nigeria here. I will give you an example. The example of it is this. Drop your arms. That is why I don't believe in all these ministers of God who have allowed, some people to siphon their memory. Who doesn't want to sit down and think very well? Because even Jesus himself, on his earthly ministration, what did he say? He said, those that will not have me to reign over them, bring them and slay them. Luke 19:27. It is the same Jesus again said that go and sell your garments and buy arms. Yes. This is the word of God. Do your findings.
Okay. Okay. But do you not think the why the global world are not accepting the Biafra referendum? Do you not think it's because of it was conducted within themselves, not the global world?
No. It's not a matter of conducting it within themselves. There was a server for that. And anything electrical is not something that you will say somebody lie or cheat. Anything internet, you understand me? Anything media now. If you want to do more findings, if you know as you are now, if you register 2 times, then we know. The system will indicate it that one person has voted twice. You see why they are finding it difficult, even in 2023, that they say that they are going to use server to monitor our electoral this thing in 2023. Are you getting it? Then at the end of the day, what happened? When they saw that the vote and things was working against their own expectation and their dream, the way they wanted it, they switch it off and tell you that they have problem. But there was no problem when the senators' time was going on and every other. But when it comes to that presidential, then Igbo man is now, getting upper hand. Then that is when the server now develop fault. See, you can fool people, but you cannot fool everybody. Somebody like you can't fool me. I've outgrown that level. You understand? The Biafrans have outgrown that level. So that is why we say, as it is now, okay, my brother, let's put the one that we are conducted aside. If Nigeria really want to do it now, the world want to do it now, I bet you, we Biafrans, you are going to score more than the number of what they have scored before. Let them there and conduct the referendum.
You sure you have more than?
We will have more than 50 million Biafrans supporting or departing from this country. Of which even Yoruba itself is ready now to go.
You are begging the US.
Yoruba go self now. If you say referendum back for now, Yorubas will even Igbo go so that we can go. We say one go. So who is happy? Nobody, because they have made the country unconducive for everybody, for every living in Nigeria. You see why I am not encouraged, even international, this you go, so why investors coming into this country to come and do what? What are they coming to do? When you've not been able to, to sort out insecurity that have been ravaging the country. So far so good, my beloved brother. I must tell you that it is a kudos now that the Congress have, I believe they have hear our voice and they really want to do the needful. Because for how long shall all the Christians be killed? How many will they wait to remain before they will come for the rescue of the Biafrans and the Christians in Nigeria, much especially here? You understand? You see, that is why, thank God, they have risen.
The truth is finally out. Now that the Finnish government has declared the CDS of Nigeria, Musa, a terrorist now, what is the next phase of the lie? What lies can the government tell Nigerians? Now that Samonepa is no longer in the picture, because it has always been pictured that Samonepa is the cause of insurgency in Southeast, and now that insurgency has stopped in Southeast, and now that the Finnish government has vindicated Samonepa, that those sponsoring insecurity and terrorists in the country are those some persons in the military. Now, where would CDS Musa bury his shame? Because a group of people are saying we want to exit the country. Because the Igbos are saying they are tired of the contraption called One Nigeria. That this One Nigeria, it will not work. And then it has never been working. It has been a country full of lies, propaganda, and shame. That has always been how it is from. So I am not surprised that the Finnish government has now come out to say CDS Musa is a terrorist for all the atrocities he has committed. in disguise of pretending to keep one Nigeria, and that one Nigeria has caused a whole lot of catastrophe in the country. Just some days ago, a notorious bandit that was declared wanted was seen in Katsina State with top government officials going for peace talk. Between Mazi Samonepa and that terrorist, who is more deadly? But here we are today. Mazi Kanu is still in detention. Kanu is still in detention because of the Igbophobia, of the hate. If Samonepa happens to be from the Fulani extraction, Samonepa would not be a terrorist. I can beat my chest because we've seen Fulani militias that have been given amnesty. We've seen Fulani militias that have been integrated into the society. Now that Finland are waiting to the ICC, Nigeria should immediately hand over CDS Musa for custody, because the French government have done their own findings too, and they've seen that something is fishy under the ground, that this man has a connection with these Fulanis, has a connection with these bandits, has a connection with these terrorists. So if they are sincere, they should hand over CDS Musa to